Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. So we are continue reading Nectarean Ocean of Holy Name. So these verses are presented by Srila Sanatana Goswami. They are called Bhakti Rasayana or spiritual tonic because these verses are from the essence of the 10th canto Srimad Bhagavatam, which are meant to stimulate Bhakti Rasa, the devotional service. And uh, these verses are used by previous acharyas as a special method of bhajan. So combining their japa and reading this Bhakti Rasayana slokas, I think it will help us, we know more about Krishna, and the more we know, the better we can immerse in a meditation about him. So today's verse is like Srimad Bhagavatam, 10th canto, 6th chapter, verse 39 and 40. Payam siyasam apibat putra sneha snustani alam Bhagavan Devaki Putra Kaivalyadi Akila Prada Tasam Aviratam Krishne Kurvatinam Sutekshanam Na Punakalpate Rajan Samsaro Ajnana Sambhavaha. The Supreme Personality of Godhead Krishna is the bestower of many benedictions, including liberation, Kaivalya, or oneness with the Brahman effulgence. For the personality of Godhead, the gopis always felt maternal love, and Krishna sucked their breasts with full satisfaction. Therefore, because of their relationship as mother and son, although the gopis were engaged in various family activities, one should never think that they return to this material world after leaving their bodies. Verse 10, 19, 16. Gopinam Paramananda Asid Govinda Darshane Krishnam Yugasatam Eva Satam Iva Yasam Yena Vina Bhavat. The young gopis took the greatest pleasure in seeing Govinda come home, since for them even a moment without his association seemed like 100 ages. Srimad Bhagavatam 10:30-43. Tan manaskastad alapastad vichetastat atmika tad gunan eva gayanto nat nat natma natma garani sam sasmaruhu. Their minds absorbed in thoughts of him, they conversed about him, acted out his pastime, felt themselves filled with his presence. They completely forget about their home as they loudly sang the glories of Krishna's transcendental qualities. Verse 10.44.14. Gopyastapakim acharan yad amusya rupam lavanyasharam asamordvam ananya siddham drugbi pibanti अनुसावाभि नवम दूरपम एकांतदाम यशसा श्रिया ऐश्वर्यस्य. What austerities must the gopis have performed with their eyes? They always drink the nectar of Krishna's form, which is the essence of loveliness and is not to be equal to or surpassed. That loveliness is the only abode of the beauty, fame, and opulence. It is self respect, ever fresh and extremely rare. Srimad Bhagavatam 10:44-15. Yadohane avahanane matanopa प्रेङ्केङ्कणार्ब रुदितोक्षणमार्जनादौ गायन्ति चैनम् अनुरक्तधियो अश्रुकान्त्यो धन्याव्रजस्त्रिया urukrama chittayana. The ladies of Vraja are the most fortunate of women because with their minds fully attached to Krishna, and their throats always choked up with tears. They constantly sing about him while milking the cow, winnowing grain, churning butter, gathering cow dung for fuel, riding on swings, taking care of their crying babies, sprinkling the ground with water, cleaning their houses, and so on. By their exalted Krishna consciousness, they automatically acquire all desirable things. Verse 10:44-16. Pratarvajad vrajata avishatascha sayam gobi samam क्वनयतो अस्य निशम्य वेणुं निगम्य तूर्णम् अबलापतिभूरिपुण्या पश्यन्ति सस्मिता मुखं स दयावलोकम्. When the gopis hear Krishna playing his flute as he leaves Vraja in the morning with his cows or returns with them at sunset, the young gopis, young girls quickly come out of their houses to see him. They must have performed many pious activities to be able to see him as he walks on the road, his smiling face mercifully glancing upon them. Verse 10:32-22. Na paraye aham nirvadya samyujham स्वसाधु कृत्यं विबुधायु सापि वा या मा भजन् दुर्जरा देह शृङ्खला संवृश्च तद्वा pratiyata pratiyatu sadhuna. I am not able to repay my debt for your spotless service. Even within a lifetime of Brahma, your connection with me is beyond reproach. You have worshipped me, cutting off all domestic ties which are difficult to break. Therefore, please let your own glorious deeds be your compensation. I think we can stop here. So in the today's verses, the first verse talks about see how gopis, love. Uh, they have a motherly love for Krishna, and if one is connected with Krishna in any transcendental relationship, then the course of material life is understood to have that already ended. In the Bhagavad Gita, verse 4.9, it tells that Janma Karma Chame Divyam Evam Yo Vetti Tatvata Taktva Deham Punarjanna Naiti Mam Iti So Arjuna. So when one knows the transcendental nature of my appearance and activities, does not upon leaving the body take his birth again in this material world, but attains my eternal abode, O Arjuna. So this verse guarantees that devotees who constantly think of Krishna in particular relationship will never returns to this material world. So here after in the next verse it's talk about the pastime of swallowing the forest fire. All these are from the 10th canto, and also talks about how gopis feel separation from Krishna, and also how gopis are so fortunate to have engaging in this pastime with Krishna, and for them even moment of separation feels like millions of years. So especially in the 10, 19, 16, after saving the cowherd boys from blazing forest fire, Krishna saved the cowherd girls from the blazing fire of separation from him. And the gopis headed by Srimati Radharani have greatest love for Krishna. Even a single moment of separation from him seems like a millions of years to them. So the gopis are the greatest devotees of the God, and their specific pastime with Krishna are described that in this verses wonderfully. So a lot of other process of yoga, they want a mukti or merge with the Brahman effulgence or other things, but only in Krishna consciousness and real devotional service, one we want to be a servant of Krishna. So to because meditating and all those things are moksha may not give you ultimate purpose. We may become an inert object, but when having a personal relationship, being a servant, one can experience the rasa of bhakti, and with Krishna's mercy, imagine how much pious activity, or how fortunate these gopis, enacting these pastimes with Krishna in the Vrindavan. And here in the verse 30, 43, it's talk about, um, usually, actually, there is no separation from Krishna for the pure devotees of the Lord. But even although apparently abandoned by Krishna, here the gopis were actually tightly connected to him by the spiritual process, of Shravanam, Kirtanam, and Vishnu. So by hearing, chanting the glories of the Lord, and thinking about the fast time, and thinking about him, all these gopis are always uh, connected with Krishna, even though externally they are separate, but internally with their heart they are full of Krishna, and they're always remembering Krishna. Uh, Especially in this verse 44:15, it talks about how, in every activity they do, morning to evening, gopis are fully attached to Krishna. So, their mind is fully attached to Krishna, their throats are choked up, they constantly sing about him while milking cow or grain, winnowing grain. So this tells that, even in our sadhana, we always have to remember Krishna, whatever we do during the day or night. We always remember Krishna and keep Krishna in the center. So that way we try to remember Krishna all the time and never forget the Krishna. And only by sadhana